Oh, I don't know about you guys, but this outfit makes me want to, maybe commit a little bit of light treason. Hey everybody, we are back taking a look at another long and forgotten game. This time, it's a PC game, online free-to-play game, by the name of Battlefield Heroes. That name might ring a bell to some of you of a certain age, as this one was released back in 2009. Now, it's a spin-off, of course, of the Battlefield series. This one was developed by DICE, later by Easy Studios for EA. Now again, this one released back in 2009 and is a little different. This is a third-person shooter, as you can tell by some of the action taking place here. It was free to play. Now the intention of this one was back in 2009. The gaming computer wasn't what it is today. You're not seeing ads for them on TV. You weren't seeing ads for them in gaming magazines. Gaming was pretty much still console relegated. Unless you had a subscription to PC World or PC Mag, you weren't getting stuff. So the idea was most people were probably playing on their parents' computer or a pre-built something from Walmart or Best Buy, and the intention of Battlefield Heroes was to allow people to get into the Battlefield world with computers with fairly low specs. Hence the cartoony graphics and the visuals here that are very reminiscent to me of something later of Fortnite. In fact, there's a lot more vibes in terms of Fortnite here for that. But this game originally came out 2009, closed up shop in 2015. People seem to like this one a lot. Critics got behind this. But around 2015, that summer, EA was shutting down free-to-play games or online games left and right. They shut this one down. They shut a different Battlefield game down. They did Need for Speed World, which people like, FIFA World. Basically, on their online stuff, they just said, we're out of here.
Larry, what the hell are you doing? Larry! Larry, you can't just... Oh, Larry!
But this one is still around today. Still survives with the community support behind it. Now, all the Battlefield name, all the Battlefield logos, everything was stripped out of this one. All the EA stuff was stripped out of this. This is now known as Rising Hub, but the core gameplay and the assets are all still in here, as well as some new stuff, as you can see from the store that I made up at the beginning of this video. So this one is still around. Now, if you go over to Rising Hub, you can download this one. It is a little bit complicated to get going, but if you follow the instructions they have set up, it's a really good community over there that'll help you get into this game. They have a number of servers going. They set up community events and stuff, so there are players. This is just a random, recording this on a random Sunday afternoon, just random time, and there were a handful of people playing in this Estonian server, is what I believe this one to be. So at its peak, Battlefield Heroes, around 2011, 2012, just a couple of years prior to it being shut down, was doing pretty well. They registered 10 million users that were playing. EA said that Metacritic scores and everything were in the high 70s usually. They got some 8s, they got some 6s, a little bit all over the place, but fairly good for a game of this nature. Now, the system was free to play, which meant there was paid assets. If you paid into the system, EA made some adjustments from the early beta and stuff that made it much easier to progress and to be better and all that stuff. Thankfully, in this version that you're playing now, all that stuff is still in the game, but you can earn it through play as opposed to having to buy anything. You don't have to spend any money, and you can unlock all that, plus new stuff that was placed into it. While the game shut down in 2015, that wasn't the only time the game shut down. It actually shut down in 2011, right around the time when EA said it was peaking in players and active users. A hacker group actually went out on the record, I believe, on Twitter and said that they had hacked Battlefield Heroes. They stole a bunch of screen names and passwords for a bunch of accounts. I think all of them or most of them were from beta users that had jumped in early. They shut the game down to kind of mitigate what was going on.
I'm getting hacked.
Oh, Portsky?
No, this is major. They've already burned his the
EA.
public firewall.
Well, isolate the node and dump them on the other side of the router.
I'm trying. It's moving too fast.
Staff said nothing got stolen of the like, but that was the first time they had a big security breach while they were investigating, and it went back on. It was only down, I believe, for a day or two, and they said that nothing was compromised. But that's the first time that it shut down, and EA kind of went from there. In 2015, Easy Studios announced that it was shutting down the game alongside a bunch of other online worlds that they had, the FIFA world, Need for Speed world. Some of these are all really well-regarded games. They were all shut down on the same day, and that they would not be reversing this decision. But by 2023 and 2024 now, it is still available to play through a fan restoration that you're seeing footage from here early on. Because this is free-to-play and because it's third-person, and the gameplay is a little different while still being based in that classic Battlefield feel. There are two teams, each have 50 lives, and you have to capture the flag points to keep your score going up. It's essentially just like any other free-to-play or online shooter or combat. There were a couple other modes as well added in over the years that it survived. One of the features that the game really pushed was its matchmaking, so it would keep same leveled players together. So if you were a level 1, it would kind of bunch you in with new players. If you were a high-ranking player, it should match you in with high-ranking players. Of course, because this is online, you could nerf accounts. You can get other accounts and play like that. But for the most part, that seemed to work fairly well, and people seem to enjoy their time. Now, this does have a class system, just like most Battlefield. You have the soldier, which is kind of the all-around person. You have the heavy gunner, which is kind of a slow damage dealer, and you've got the commando, which is really fast. He's got low health, but he's kind of like the spy, if you remember something like TF2. And each kind of played well against the other classes, and it was just a bunch of fun. You could also have vehicles, just like the Battlefield series is known for. There were a bunch of vehicles in the game. You could do kind of these light track vehicles or ATV-style vehicles for both sides. There were tanks, of course. You had the Sherman on one side, a Panzer on the other side. You had Jeeps. You have airplanes as well. They all controlled as poorly as they would in the original Battlefield series, but they were all a blast to play with the controls. Of course, you could be awarded achievements by mission system, so you can have objectives that you need to complete to get more Valor points, which you can then turn in for points in the store. And this revamped version that the fans are using right now, that is the way you can buy stuff in the store since you do not pay money. But outside of that, this is Battlefield Heroes. It's still around. If you want to play it, you can jump into it. If you have a bunch of friends that remember this would be a great way. If you can get a small team of maybe 5-on-5, you can jump onto their Discord or over on their website. They have information of when people play. I've jumped into as a level 1, as you can kind of saw through this video. The community was super cool. Everyone was super accommodating. Of course, it's almost impossible to get very good when you're playing against top-ranked players because they've been playing for so long. But you can work your way up. The community so far, the few matches that I've played with have been super accommodating, super fun, super chill people. This is something that happens with these old games that fans kind of save from extinction. A lot of MMOs, a lot of online free-to-play games like this, is that by the time it's dead, the community kind of that's left is all the really serious players or the people that really enjoyed the game, the experience, the friends they've made. So the people that are keeping it alive are all, for the most part, super decent, super chill, just want to hop on for an hour or two with some friends to relive the good old days. It's not like an Overwatch or something where millions and millions of people are playing all at once all the time, and you just kind of have this cacophony of crap in terms of a community. By the time these games are revived, everyone here is super cool. So I suggest, if you enjoy these old games, if you remember playing Battlefield Heroes, head over to Rising Hub, download it. It's super small. Jump in, have a few matches, see how it feels, tell your friends about it, and hopefully we'll see you on the battlefield. And until next time, you guys all have a fantastic day, and this 2024 will be back a lot more videos of long forgotten and hard to find video games that we're going to talk about this year. So, see you guys, have a fantastic one, and we'll see you in the next video.